HUG was also developed as a three-prong approach. The approach, first we want to help our students as our clients, we want to have our tutors, and we value your time, so we think of you as clients. We also think of the community or the administration school setting as our clients, so we want to help host an educational experience. We want you to have a fabulous experience as well as the students, to keep on telling more people and have more people coming back. Every second of HUG has a meaning. It's meant to be. It's either neuroscience related, medically related, or engagement related. We take many different measurements on every single session. So right now we've been through the Be the Difference message, and now we're going to actually go in and do the program. But Caitlin, I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited to be with you. I'm a little nervous. Are you a little nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. So sometimes when you're a little nervous, if we can have an icebreaker, know some commonalities about each other. Like, for example, I have a dog. Do you have a dog?
I have a dog.
You do? What's his name?
Bailey.
Bailey, that's such a good dog's name. Is he a big dog or a little dog?
Big dog.
Yeah, I have a little teeny tiny dog. Her name is Chip. So we have something in common, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're here to read. We're here to learn how to read a little bit better. I bet you're a pretty good reader, but you might have a little bit of struggles. And I just want you to know that I have struggles all the time. I'm not a good reader, and I need a lot of help in school. So I'm here to help you take care of any of the struggles. So I want you to make mistakes. This is the place where you can make all the mistakes you want. If you don't know something, you just let me know, and I'm here to help you. I'm going to be your reading coach or your reading tutor. So you don't have to be nervous. Making mistakes is a good thing. Okay. All right, so now we're going to begin. I'd like you to go ahead and unpack your backpack.
Okay.
All right? And this is your place. You get to organize this place how you want it, okay?
Okay.
And tutors, the reason why we let them unpack and organize their place is because when they're wiggly and they're uncomfortable, you can say, oh, let's organize your session. Let's see where you want to put your stuff. Make sure it's organized. Give them back control. Okay, so is that the way you want it? Okay, that's good. That's pretty good. So this is your book. This is your activity book. This is the book that you're going to be reading from. And so I'm going to put this over here with you. This is my tutor book. This has all of the things that a tutor will need. This is the direction book of HUG. This is really built, this program is from UNC, 30 years history. It's built from a peer-to-peer mentorship, but as we all know, the reason why you're here is because the third grade reading proficiency in the United States is 40%. The United States is an F in reading. And so as volunteers, we can make a huge impact, just 1 hour a week, if we follow a very prescribed curriculum, which we have here. And so just staying on task 1 hour a week is going to ramp up their scores and make a big difference. And so if you want to come early, or if you want to sit in the parking lot and read through the questions and answers in this curriculum part, it will help the comprehension. So now we're back on track. This is my book. This is what I'm going to look at to make sure that I tell you all the things that you need to do. The very first session, we're going to learn a little bit about each other and to take out that uncomfortableness, okay? The very first session, when you meet and greet your student, you're going to fill out this chart and you're going to share your hobbies, just like we did when we first initially met. But Caitlin, you and I are going to go to lesson number 8. Can you find lesson number 8 in your book? And I'll open up my book to lesson number 8 because there's a lot of information in the tutor book in case you get lost or in case you need another subset of conversations. All these gray bubbles here are guidelines to say, this is a critical thinking question. Would you like to ask this to your students? So if you get lost or if you're running out of stuff to talk about, it's right here in this gray bubbles, okay? Oh, Caitlin, good job. You got out this bookmarker. And so for HUG, this is the fidelity of the program. This is the process. It's on the bookmarker. It's an hour-long program, 45 minutes. The HUG specialists will be roaming around the room to keep you on task and on track. And the first 5 minutes is Be the Difference, and then it's a role model reading book. And you only read that role model reading book for less than 5 minutes. everyone's like, I really want to read that whole book. Is it important to finish what you start? Yes, it is. But I just want to share with you that the role model reading book is to start the mental imagery happening in their head. Because if they're starting to see pictures in their head, they're comprehending what they read. If they don't have that camera, that video in their head, they're not comprehending. And so you as tutors have the creative ability to say, I'm going to read this book just for 5 minutes, because we'll come over and tap you on the shoulder saying you're supposed to move along. Or if you want to just tell the student, let's just do a picture walk and still get that imagery starting, okay? And so Caitlin, you're a really good follower of directions, and we're going to read a little bit of this book so I can share how good role model reading looks like, okay? And so I'm a really bad reader. I need someone to hold the bookmarker for me. Will you hold the bookmarker for me? Okay, so first we're going to start the mental imagery and say, Caitlin, well, what do you think? What's going on here?
They look like they're in like a garden and they're like sneaking around to look at the ants.
Oh, I see that too. That's very interesting. So the title is Ant Cities, written and illustrated by Arthur Dones. I'm curious to see what it's about. Are you curious?
Yeah.
And so neuroscience-wise and socially wise, if you're curious, you're ready to learn. So that's why we want to pique their curiosity at every chance we get, because we know that they're enticed and they're engaged by piquing their curiosity. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you another picture and see what you think about this picture. This is called a picture walk. It's on your blue marker, and each of you should have this blue marker in your backpack. If you want to go ahead and pull it out so you can follow. Thank you. So this picture, what do you think is going on here?
Well, that's an ant farm, and there's 4 kids, and they're watching the ants.
I agree with that. I can see that. Okay, I'm ready to read. Can you help me? All right. Hold the bookmarker for me, and if I make a mistake, you can point it out, because I make lots of mistakes when I read, okay?
Okay.
All right. Have you seen ants busy running over a hill of dirt? And sometimes I'm going to read a little slow and make my voice change whenever we see a question mark or commas. I'm going to emphasize those a lot, because that's what I would like you to do when you read, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to keep going now. They may look like they are just running around, but wait, I can't read that fast. That's a little too fast. Some kids are scrollers. Some kids don't have the mental imagery, but we're going to talk a minute about the scrollers. And the scrollers just go too fast, and they cannot comprehend what they're reading. And so the bookmarker is your magical tool. It works in reverse as well. So when the student holds that bookmarker for you and they go too fast or they're not paying attention, sometimes they'll just be looking around the room and they're like, oh, this way we know that your eyes and their eyes are engaged. And so when they scroll through the document too fast, say, wait a minute, we know that when you speak the same rate that you read, that we know that the comprehension is happening. And so just ask the kids, say, oh, I just slow down for a little bit so that I can understand and have that mental picture going through my head. Does that all make sense? Yep. Okay. So let's start here. They may look like they are just running around, but the ants built that hill to live in, and each ant has to do work. Okay, that's great. Thank you. One more page, and then I'm going to ask you to read, okay? Mm-hmm. This is a theme book about ants, and then your story is going to be about ants as well, okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Some ants may disappear into a small hole in the hill. Thanks for going slow. I'm starting to get a mental image now of what I'm reading. The hole is the door to their nest. Okay, now when you read, I'd like you to read slowly and clearly and just stop at the punctuation marks, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'll help you if you don't know a word, okay? All right, and so let's look here at this sticker. This is our data collection sticker. This is the bottom bones meat collection system that we prove that our process works. So as tutors, we really, really want you to fill this out. It's our data collection sticker, it's an engagement sticker. And so Miss Caitlin, what do you think? Are you ready to be in hug?
Yes.
Yes. Can you take your pencil and circle one? And you can choose any one you want to be. 5 is the happiest, 1 is not so happy. Some of the kids will arrive not so happy, and you can talk to them a little bit about that, but the main goal is to keep them on track. Some of the kids may have an incident on the bus. Some of the kids may have something happen at home. For confidentiality reasons, if there's an issue that you think that needs to be addressed, talk to your hug specialist. We're not trained psychologists. We want to help the kids, but if there's something that really is mentally causing you issues, talk to your hug specialist. And we can do that by saying, leaving this hug sign up. So when the child unpacks their backpack, down means you guys are doing great. You don't need any visits from the hug specialist. But if the hug sign's up, the hug specialist will know that you want an intervention. You need some help. You're a little frustrated. You don't know what to do. And they're constantly walking around the room helping you keep on task. So up is help me grow. And down is no, I don't need any help. Okay, so right now Caitlin is a 4. That's great. I'm so excited that you're a 4, that everything's going really well and you're ready to read. Okay? All right. So when I was reading my book, I needed help. I think that you might need some help too, and I'm here to help you. So I'm going to hold the bookmarker for you while you read. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. It's really important that our eyes stay together, and so sometimes people don't want to hold the bookmarker, but it's really important to hold the bookmarker and hug so that I know that your eyes and my eyes are on the same word. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's take a little picture walk. What do you think's happening here?
Well, the ants are in the desert, and there's one big ant, and then the rest are small. And there's a tree, and they're like going to climb up the tree.
That's right. I see that too. I wonder what's happening there. Do you want to find out? Are you curious? All right. Are you ready to read? All right. Let's read it first, the title.
The Ant and the Bird.
Good job.
Okay. One day, an ant said to himself, "I'm thirsty. I want a drink of water."
Good job.
The ant went to the lake to get a drink.
Wonderful.
He slipped and fell into the water.
Well, now something happened here. Can you read this again? It wasn't as smooth as it usually is.
Yeah.
Can you figure that out?
He said, I don't really know what that is.
So that word's kind of tricky, right?
Yeah.
Would you like some help with that word? Okay, can you highlight it for me? Mm-hmm. And so once the kid has trouble, the student has trouble with a particular word, we want them to buy into the fact that they want help. They want your advice. And so once they highlight that, they have ownership now that they want advice on that word. And so let's talk about that word, okay? So whenever you see 2 consonants together, we know for sure that we can break that word up. We can chunk up the words in little bit. And so when you see a word you don't know, try to find other small parts of that word that you do know. So we're going to just cover up the part, the extra part of the word, and look at only the part that you know. So do you know that word?
Slip.
Yeah, slip. And then the last part of the word, the ED is?
Ed.
Yeah. And so if you can put it together, what does that sound like? Slipped. As you advance through the program and you get reacquainted with your student or acquainted with your student, you can identify which areas that they're going to have issues with. You can highlight suffixes, prefixes. That's why we have the 3 different colors. And we'll talk more about that later on in the spring semester, even after we decide if your student needs more decoding. But for right now, that's something that you think about as your tutor creativity portion, because the program is very prescriptive, but you have choices. You can do only the picture walk, or you can read 5 minutes of the book. You can dissect the word via syllables. You can just tell them the word. The point is that we don't want them to struggle. We want them to learn the word. Okay, and so I'll show you another technique as we continue on. Breaking up the word into syllables, doing rhyming words, or just flat out telling them. so that they don't struggle, because if they struggle more than 5 minutes, they're already uncomfortable. We want them to be happy and learn, and so we want them to get through that uncomfortable stage. Okay, here you go. Let's try that again.
He slipped and fell into the water.
Awesome.
Help, help, I cannot swim, he cried out.
Ooh, I like that expression. That was great.
A bird heard him. The bird dropped I don't really know.
You know that word? Would you like some help with that word?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and highlight it.
Okay.
Now, we always use the yellow marker on the first attempt. And we do that for a specific reason. We play a ping-pong word game. So all the words that you're going to highlight, we're going to play a game with that. So don't be afraid to highlight, because we know that you just need some help on that word. So it's not that you're wrong. You just need a little more help. Okay? And so I'm going to share with you a rhyming word. It sounds the same as the end of this word. It says pig or big, okay? Can you guess what that word is? Do you know the sound of the TW? No, you don't have to know. I can help you if you want.
I don't know what the TW is.
You don't know? Okay, so tweet. Tweet is the sound of TW, and then pig, ig, is the last part. So can you put those two sounds together and see if you can come up with that word?
Twig.
Twig. That's right, twig. Okay? And so do you know any other words that rhyme with twig?
Wig.
Wig. That's a good one. And what else? We said pig, right? So we have wig.
And big.
And big. Yeah, and so rhyming words, getting them to understand what they already know and apply it to that word will help them remember that word. Okay? So keep going, you're doing great. And also, tutors, if you have words of encouragement at the punctuations, it gives them a little break. It absorbs that sentence for them. So I always interject a period. And I'm in control of the bookmarker, so I get to do that, right? All right, keep going.
The ant got on the twig and floated to the river bank.
Good job. Keep going.
The ant said to the bird, "Thank you.
Yes.
One day I'll help you."
All right.
The bird loghead and said, "How can a little ant help me?"
Loghead. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
No.
No, it doesn't. Well, this is a really hard word. Can you highlight that word? Again, they're accepting help now. Okay, great. Thank you. This last word is a really hard word. It was created a long time ago in the English language, and these letters don't make a lot of sense. And so I'm just going to tell you that word, and you're going to have to memorize it, okay?
Okay.
It's laughed. What does laugh mean to you?
Like someone says a joke and you like laugh.
Laugh and ha ha ha, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that's good. And so when you don't know a word and you're learning a new word, if you see it and say it, it takes about 1,000 times to put that word in your long-term memory bank. And so we see it and say it as 5 times fast as we possibly can. Can you help me do that? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go like this. Laughed, 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 laughed. You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You want to read it again?
The bird laughed and said, "How can a little ant help me?"
Good job.
The next day, the ant saw a man aiming a net at the bird.
Good job. Sometimes the kids sub in different words. That's a part of a learning discrepancy. They don't know that they do that, and they might say, "No, I didn't do anything wrong," but yeah, they did. And so I noticed that you substituted this word for another word. So can you tell me what that word is?
Bit.
Bit, that's right. Does that make more sense that he bit the man on the leg? Yeah. You have to highlight with blue, okay? I'm sorry, with yellow. Highlight with yellow. It's complicated, and that's why you have a bookmarker. But the very first read, you always highlight in yellow. The second read, you'll highlight in blue. Okay, keep going.
The man missed, and the bird flew away.
Good job. Good job. That's wonderful. So let's count your highlighted words. Can you count them for me?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. So you are working on 4 words. Can you write the number 4 there? Perfect. That's great. And now we're going to play a ping-pong word game. that was created by one of our famous reading specialists, Elaine, back there. And she shared this game with us, and again, it goes back to memorizing the words that you're learning, because it takes 1,000 times to see a word and say a word. And so Ping-Pong word game is about a halfway mark in your lesson. So you should be about 30 minutes into the lesson by now. And the Ping-Pong word game, we just go rapidly and randomly, very fast, until the child feels comfortable with the words that they're learning. So I'm going to point to the words and you say them, okay? And if you have trouble, it's okay, I'm here, I'll help you. Okay, how about that word?
Slip.
Yes.
Twig.
Yes.
Laugh.
Yeah.
Bite.
Oh, bite, that's really close, but it doesn't have an E on the end. Bite looks like this. And that's a strategy that you can share with the kids. When they say a different word, write it down and say, well, this word doesn't have an E. Okay? This word's bite, but what's this word?
Bit.
Good job. So bit, 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 bit. 5 times fast. Bit, 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 bit. Okay? See it and say it, and then you know it. Okay? So we're still doing Ping-Pong word game. I'm going to go backwards, and it's the lightning round, and you got to go really, really fast. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, go.
Bit.
Good.
Laugh.
Good.
Twig.
Yes, you got it.
Slip.
You slipped. That's it. You got it. Okay. Do you feel comfortable?
Yes.
Do you think you know those words, or you want to go one more time? You can go one more time if you want. You pretty good? Yeah? Okay, so we're going to read it again, and then you get to fix up those mistakes. You get to fix up the words that you had some trouble with. Okay? All right. Are you ready to set? Go.
Yes. One day, an ant said to himself, I'm thirsty.
Good.
I want a drink of water.
Good job.
The ant went to the lake to get a drink.
Yep.
He slipped
Good.
and fell into the water.
Yay.
Help, help, I cannot swim, he cried out.
Good expression.
A bird heard him.
Good.
The bird dropped a twig in the water.
Good. And so we highlighted those words in yellow for caution. Like, this is your new word. We're going to come to a little bit of a slowdown and think about that word again. Good job. Keep
The
going.
ant got on the twig and floated to the riverbank.
Yes.
The ant said to the bird, thank you.
Good.
One day I will help you. The bird laughed and said, how can a little ant help me? The
Good
next
job.
day the ant saw a man aiming a net at the bird. The ant ran over to the man. He bit the man on the leg as he was trying to catch the bird. The man missed and the bird flew away.
Wow, what great reading. That was really terrific. I noticed that you said that word correctly, but sometimes you get it wrong on the second word, the second read. And the second read you highlight in blue. And so that is, for the second read, we do that because the word turns green. And so that we know when we're auditing their books that they had trouble or struggle with that word. And so that would be a WIP word, a word help in progress. But for now, yeah, that's okay. That's all right. You're doing great, and I love your help here. And so the second read was supposed to be a mistake, but she said it right. So now, let's look at this. You have one word that you're still working on, right? Mm-hmm. And so on the second attempt, you had a great improvement. You only have one word that you're working on. Can you write that down? Mm-hmm. That is great. And so from the first attempt to the second attempt, how many words did you learn? Would you like to count them? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
You learned 3 words today. Write that number 3 down there. Congratulations. That's really good. Sometimes people get uncomfortable when they're learning, and that's okay. Okay? Now, the one word that you had a little bit of trouble with was bit, right? Can you write that word right there? And this is a word help in progress. And so, tutors, when you come back this next lesson, review those WIP words, because we really want them to stick into their long-term memory. Okay? All right. Well, that is great reading. Are you ready to go to an activity and help learn even more about ants? There are many activities in each lesson, 2 to 3. And this one has a Venn diagram. And it's just similar and commonalities that we want to have the children read and think about and do. This one's fill in the blanks. As a tutor, you're their scribe. If you let the children read or write it, it's going to take too long. We really want that comprehension to be embedded in them. So please be their scribe, or else it turns into a writing class and a spelling class. And so be their scribe. So after they go through one or two of the activities, depending on your student and how much time you have covered, you go to check your understanding. These are multiple choice questions that we're actually going to take data on to see if the student really did comprehend it. And so that's a super important part too. As tutors, if you have time to come in a little bit early, there's a take-home letter. We recommend that you fill this out before your student comes as much as you can. You can put the date on, you can put who you are, we can't put dear so-and-so. They're gonna have to tell you, oh, I wanna write it to my mom or my brother. But the ending part is that you and the child fill this out, and then the child rips this out of the book and they take it home. And hopefully there is someone at home that they can share their story with. And so that is the main portion of the hug process. After this, we ask the kids to pack up all their belongings and line up for Simon Says. Simon Says is a 2 to 5 minute tiny bit of fun for the kids, but it's specifically built for a tracking disorder. Anytime that the child has tracking disorders, not only does the book marker help, but anytime they do crossing over midline, it helps them understand that that's a tracking mechanism that could be a little bit deficit. And so Simon Says helps them listen, helps them learn, and helps them with crossing over. And so that's just a 5-minute game to keep them engaged and have fun. And then there will be we have 5 different positions in hug. We have a greeter, we have a hug specialist, we have a Simon Says person, and we have a mentor. And so all of you, when you go into orientation, we're going to ask you for a certain task. And the mentor person hands them a piece of candy that says be the difference on it and hug. And we ask them what they want to be that week. Do you want to be respectful? Do you want to be persistent? Do you want to be honest? Pick one, because you can pick whatever you want to be. Just let's really take an action and purposefully do something to make a difference in the school. And then they'll also get a little hand stamp. And so we do that to hopefully have engagement at home with whoever is their caretaker. And so that is the lesson. Now you've seen one, and now it's time to do one.